Hey guys, how you doing? Justin Melson here with Happy Fox Productions. I know it's been a long time since I've done a video on here. Just wanted to do a quick general update video on life, career, everything revolving that, filmmaking. If you're a longtime fan or watcher of the channel, like if you watched our old films, then this video might be good for you. If not, then just keep cruising along, because this is not going to be a crazy edited video. It's just going to be a general life update video. In case you guys didn't know, I am based in Atlanta now, no longer in Vegas. And you may notice over the last, time is flying, I'm 29 now, over the last 8 years, 7 years, there hasn't been much content posted on this channel since we finished our film in Gore Road way back in the day, if you guys remember that film. And if you don't remember it, there's a link in the bio somewhere maybe, or I'll post some B-roll on here, you guys can watch it. But just to kind of dive right into it, like why there hasn't been any updates, why this channel's kind of fallen off, and what's kind of happened with me is, that film was a crazy learning experience. I put, my heart and soul into it, like a lot of people did. And we, put tons of money, tons of effort, put it in film festivals. It got into 3 festivals out of like 30. It didn't have much of a run. And honestly, that knocked the sales out of me for a long time, because I was like burnt out, man. I directed, produced, funded, shot, edited, colored, mixed, like did all of that. And I was just pretty burnt by the end of it. So 2018 came around, finished the film, did the premiere, had a lot of life things happen, so I was just not in the greatest place, ending of relationships and things like that, and a lot of moving. And so 2018 just kind of became just go with the flow. Life's kind of tough, kind of sad, didn't really have the motivation to do much. And then 2019 came around and things were much better, but I was still figuring out what to do, because I was working with a lot of people. I was freelancing at the time, and I still do. And the people that I was working with weren't that great for me. And that also burnt me out as well, because I didn't have any good boundaries with the people I was working with. And so 2019 came around, stopped working with these individuals that weren't that healthy for me, and was kind of broke. So for the first time in like my adult life, I was like literally like no money, and I was like, dang, this sucks. And I was under the impression of, freelancing, business will pick up, like a lot of people know me and people will hire me for jobs and whatnot. And that never ended up happening. I'd get gigs here and there, but nothing to sustain me. So 2019 was pretty tough, and it was pretty humbling, because I had to go back to my first part-time job, which was pretty, you got to do what you got to do, right? Like if you're working, but is definitely humbling for a couple months having to go back to a job that I worked at when I was 18. It's hard to focus on productions when you're broke, let alone, because I learned as you get older, nothing is no budget. Even if you want to do a very low budget film, it's going to at least cost $500, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to do something that's still no budget. And that's with me owning all my own equipment. Like if I want to get some actors or get some food, get some locations, anything, I still got to dish out money. And it's hard to think about dishing out $2,500 for a film project when I didn't know where my next paycheck was coming from. And I'd get a gig that would pay a couple grand here, then that would it was just not ideal. And so, I'd go up and down. And then towards the end of 2019, I started making pretty good money. My freelance business started picking up pretty good. And then I got an opportunity to work for this nonprofit foundation that I've known for a long time. And this artist, I won't name her name, that opportunity came out around 2020. And it was a pretty difficult decision for me to make, because the organization that offered me this position, I've kind of been up and down with throughout the years. And I've never fully agreed with everything and all that. I mean, I won't get into everything, but, I thought about it long and hard, and I was like, you know what? Like, I don't want to keep turning down opportunities, because I had done that before. I've had people come up to me with opportunities and I'll decline them because I'm like, oh, I'm a filmmaker. I don't want to do that. I'm going to make movies. And then months later, I'm like, shit, like I should have taken that opportunity. So I didn't want to make the same mistake of someone coming up to me, offering me a really good opportunity. Then I turn it down. And then months later, I'm like, damn, I should have taken it, which I'm really glad I did, because a couple months later, COVID happened. And I was one of the few people who actually had a full-time job during COVID. And I was working from home, and it was really cool. I mean, I had like 20% of my pay cut, which I could understand, because it's a nonprofit foundation. So everyone had to cut their pay and everything, which is fine. And so I did that job, actually, believe it or not, from 2020 till about a couple months ago, till about midway through 2024, I worked for this foundation. and be clear, like it was a great opportunity. I got to work from home. I was pretty much a full-time editor. I edit from my, as you can see, I have my studio behind me. I edit from home, but it was just tough. And another reason why you didn't see any content on this channel is one of my agreements with this opportunity is I'm not allowed to work on my own projects, which sounds pretty fucking ridiculous when I say it out loud. Like, what job tells you what you can do outside of work? Like, imagine you teach music at a music school, and then your boss is like, by the way, when you go home, you can't work on your own music. Like, that's kind of weird. But for some reason, my boss was like that, and I just kind of stuck with it. I followed those rules very loosely, but that was a big thing too for the last 4 years. I'm like, I'm not allowed to work on my own projects as long as I work with these people. And it had a toll on my mental health for a while because I'm an artist and I want to make my own projects. And the reason I got into filmmaking and the reason this channel even got started was because I love making films. I don't necessarily love doing corporate videos. I don't love editing B-roll and interviews. I don't love doing the corporate stuff and filming events and filming weddings. Like, I'll do it if it pays, because you got to make a living. But this channel, if you go all the way back, just started with me posting like little VFX tests, posting my little short films that when you look back, they're god awful now, but I was like 15, and that was always been my career trajectory is I want to make movies. And if I'm not making movies, then it's just like, I'm not 100% fulfilled. So with this job, I wasn't allowed to make my own films. And so I did that all throughout COVID, which was great to have income throughout COVID. And then starting 2021, my friend Dylan and we started working on a feature film called The Monsters We Carry, and that's been in development for a long time. We're hopefully pretty good with the script. The script needs maybe like one more pass, one more revision, and then we're gonna try to start packaging this film to get some real money and real talent on board to make it, because I learned after Angora Road, I don't want to do the no budget, like save up my own savings and let's say, I could save up 50 grand or something and just dump all that into a movie. I don't want to do that anymore because I've been doing that my entire life, and I wouldn't take back anything that I've done. Like Angora Road, I put probably 25 grand into. I wouldn't change it. Like, I wouldn't change it at all, but it's not healthy because like, as you get older, you get more responsibilities and, eventually like get married and have kids and everything. I don't want to be that guy that's like dirt broke at 35 because I just keep putting all my money into my art. Like, I want to also have a living and be able to live life too. So, so with that said, we're trying to get funding for that. We're trying to get that going and rolling. It's been a long process because a feature film takes a while, and I don't want it to just be an okay script. I want it to be a great script, and a great script requires years and years of revisions and touching it up. And frankly, I don't know who we're going to pitch it to. I don't truthfully know how we're going to make it. I don't know how we're going to get the money. I'm not sure, but I know myself, when I put my mind to it, I can get anything done that I want to. So I'm not too concerned about that. I'll figure it out. Like, if you watch all the films on our channel, there's a lot of stuff that no one knows about. Like, a lot of those films that we were making, like we were dirt broke or poor. Or like, I remember at one point, I think I was spending like some rent money on some of the films at one point. Like, there's always a way to get it done if you really want to. And I'll pride myself on that. When I really want to get something done, I'll do it. Over the last couple of years, that's been a struggle because I've learned as I grow up, especially from like 24 and I'm 29 now, like the last 5 years, it's been way more difficult for me to make those strides because there's a lot more going on in my head of like, oh, your life savings, oh, a Roth IRA, oh, this, oh, what are people gonna think? Or as I like progress in my film career, I'm like, what kind of films do people wanna watch? What kind of films are gonna push your career forward? Drama seems to be the thing that does that for a lot of people. And then I'm like, I'm not like the most prolific, like I don't have a lot of drama stories that I want to tell. Like, I grew up doing comedy and action, as you guys have probably seen. And I'm like, it's been a little tricky navigating that. And, I'll start overthinking my whole film career and all that. And then next thing you know, you get an analysis paralysis and you're not doing anything. But anyways, back to the course. So yeah, in 2022, we decided like, hey, let's move to Atlanta with some friends. And that was quite an experience. And so I've been in Atlanta now for about 2 years. And the first year or so was really just a lot of therapy and recovering from us moving here. because of just things that went down. And so, yeah, the first year almost doesn't even count. So now we're on year 2, and I just quit my full-time job about a couple months ago, which has been a really big leap for me, because for me, I'm like, I like security and I like knowing money is coming in like consistently, and knowing that like, okay, you got to go out and hunt your own food and find your own business is really good and really healthy for me. But on the contrary, it's like tough because I'm in a new city, so I don't know anyone. And so business isn't coming in as quickly, which I knew, I kind of expected that. So I founded my production company, Melson and Masters Media. I'm out here, you know, producing films and producing content. Doing a short film in the next 2 weeks that I'm pretty excited about. And then on top of that, we're trying to get, like I mentioned, our feature film off the ground. But in terms of a general update on this channel, that's pretty much been life since Angora Road. It's just been, frankly, life has had a lot of ups and downs, man. There's been a lot of great times, but there were a lot of really difficult times over those years, and filmmaking kind of stood by the sideway while that happened. And I also learned I was obsessing over filmmaking way too much, like from 6th grade when I decided I wanted to make films all the way up until like 2019. That was all I thought about, was just filmmaking. All of life was filmmaking. Any money I got was like, how can I put this towards filmmaking? And then I had a bit of a paradigm shift after Angora Road. I'm like, there's more to life than this, and you should do other things. And so that's been a big reason why there haven't been many films. And oh, that's another thing. The channel also got hacked. On top of all the drama of coming to Atlanta, the YouTube channel got hacked, and I don't know what happened. It took me a couple months, but I was able to get it back. But YouTube never recrawled all my videos, and so now the channel gets like 0 views. Like before, I could at least get like 20, 30, 40, 50,000 views a month, like from all my previous backlogged videos. Now I get like 100 views a month. So the channel, I don't know, with the SEO or the algorithm or whatever, now like YouTube search engine doesn't even, if you search my videos, some of them come up, but not really. So that also lowered the incentive to upload on this channel, because I'm like, the channel kind of got fucked up when it got hacked. And so now, like I mentioned, I don't really know what's going to happen with this channel. And frankly, I don't think it matters, because this video itself is probably going to get like 50 views. So I don't think many people are going to care, but you know, might just keep it up. For me, it's just a nice area where I can look back and look at all the films that I did. And hopefully, you know, should I keep this career of filmmaking and trying to push forward and make films, you know, one day, maybe 20 years from now, I can look back and see where I started and see all the fun I had with my friends making films. And, you know, like I said, almost like a virtual digital diary of my film career. And maybe one day if I ever decide like filmmaking isn't for me and I don't want to do it anymore, then it'll just, again, be a place where I can look back and look at all my old films. I'll see what I do. Maybe I'll update this channel as the projects progress. The horror short that I'm doing in the next 2 weeks, I don't know if I'm going to put it in festivals or not. I might, or I might just put it on this channel, or maybe put it on if it's good enough, one of those popular horror channels might post it, and maybe they'll drive some traffic here. I'm not really sure, but yeah, if you guys are still listening and watching this video, thanks for sticking along. It might seem kind of stressy, depressy, but it's just the reality, man. Like, I've just, like, the last 6 or so years, it hasn't been as fun as it used to be. And I'm learning to make the transition to make it fun again. All in all, still going strong with filmmaking. Yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was, I mean, it wasn't educational. It wasn't a tutorial. It wasn't a film. It's just an update. But hopefully you guys got something out of it. And maybe I'll see you next time. Later, guys.